Episode 8, guys. Welcome, Piere. Good to see you.
Thank you, Joao.
Okay, and the other person on the screen, nobody's going to recognize because he's had a haircut.
Hey, Joao, Piere.
Hello, Basie.
Okay, so Basie, welcome to our little chat. As you know, we do things a bit different here. You're the first breeder that we've got on, but obviously your journey wasn't that of a breeder, eh? It all started off in Kimberley.
Yes, Joao, yeah. Breeding is new for us, so we label ourselves racing enthusiasts, but definitely not breeders yet.
Well, I don't know about that, eh? I think 3 of yours, you sold 3 at the sale, eh?
5. We sold 5.
Oh, then you breeders. 3 and 4 doesn't make you a breeder, but 5 and above, you qualify. And,
Cool.
Obviously, you had a fantastic weekend, the weekend that's just gone past, eh? As owners.
Yes, that was so lekker.
To his Golden Sickle, Flower Bomb between them. Towards the outside came Mythical Dream. It's still Golden Sickle, the leader from Troppo Veloce, 100 meters out. Golden Sickle led from Troppo Veloce. Golden Sickle's going the whole way.
From Basie, why did you've come from the Kimberley area? Why did you open up a stud farm in the Western Cape? Any reason?
I don't know. We decided get closer to the stallions and possibly a bit of a different style in the Western Cape. Yeah, we still have properties in the Northwest, but that's for dogs and cattle. So yeah, possibly to get closer to the stallions and different lifestyle and closer to my other passion, which is that's the reason. But there was a question asked to you, Piere. Have you ridden winners for us? Joao said for the Viljoens, but I'm sure Joao remember that he rode a winner for us, for me and Joao.
He did.
You remember?
You did.
Yeah.
Good.
Which was it? Which one is that?
Sagara.
Zagara. No, he never rode Zagara.
Yes, he did.
No. Did he? Yeah, but he didn't win on her, did he?
Can't remember.
No, Anton Marcus won on her, I'm pretty sure.
I knew it was one of the older guys.
Yeah, no, Superman rode her, not Batman.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, I'm not able to type it in now. But yeah, I'm pretty sure quite a few old guys actually rode her. Mark Khan rode her as well, funnily enough.
Yeah, I think so. That was the common denominator to make a win. Old guys.
No, I don't think Mark. I don't think Mark won on her. Mark ran second on her, and then he. I think Anton won on her twice. I think Anton won on her twice. Okay, so Basie, this breeding thing's obviously everybody does a lot of stuff, but this breeding thing's hard, eh?
Joao, so far it's been tough, but it's been fun. We learned a lot in the first year. I don't think breeding is that tough, but selling or breeding the right horses for the market, that's possibly the difficult part. But yeah, it's something that we have a passion for, and in the long run we'll make it work. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy to.
Not for the faint-hearted. Eh? I've been to the farm, mate. Yeah, you must see the farm. It's really nice. It's the old. Oh, the name escapes me. It's the old Arkansas, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, it's the old Arkansas farm. You know, it's really nice, and you know, there's quite a lot of broodmares on there, pushing 80 or 90 already. So, but look, the problem, I suppose, is you're getting 2 years of feeding and looking after a horse, and then sometimes only getting 20 and 30 grand for it, right?
Now that's the negative of it. But the name is Hopes and Dreams, so we dream to breed a million rand horse and breed a champ. Yeah. Eventually, it's gonna happen, possibly.
I think so. I think you're just great people, and I think that good things happen to good people. Striker, which is the best filly you've ever ridden? We know JJ the jet plane, but what's the best filly? Because I'd love
Sure.
to know what does she breed?
Yeah,
I'm
yes, so
gonna look
that's
it up. I'm going to look it up.
yeah. I rode a very good filly years ago called Harry's Charm.
For the
She was,
Aussies.
yeah, she was very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of caught me out here. I mean, that's a question that I've never been asked. Can you believe it? I mean, I've been running for over 40 years. Yeah, that's I'll have to actually go back about it. But I mean, the one that came to mind now is Harry's Charm.
Yeah, she was pretty good, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Basie, would you remember horses like that, or is your journey in racing 8 years old or whatever it is?
Yes, Joe, my journey in racing is short. What I there's some horses I can remember that my dad and his friends used to play the July. That's like horses like Over the Air and Jamaican Music and
Sure.
that's of the names I remember. But that after that, the next name I remember is What a Poet and Captain's Ransom. So there's like a 40 years break.
Yeah, listen, I suppose you missed a few good ones along the way, but then there's also a big gap between What a Poet and Captain's Ransom, right? I think there's an 80-point gap between the two. One's rated 50, one's rated 130.
Yeah. Sorry to ask, but I mean, we always seem to remember our first July like the winner. You know, we watched. I also remember Jamaican Music. I was a little kid and marking my dad's race card or whatever. I thought I knew a lot, and obviously the July would come up and Jamaican Music. That was my era. Was that the same as yours? Jamaican Music.
Correct.
Yeah, and the grey, I mean, it just stood out. I think everyone remembers their first July.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of good horses around. I mean, I still think there's a lot of good horses. Some people are anti the merit rating system and that kind of thing, but I mean, I just think we had a bigger span of good horses in those days. You know, we had.
So, what first July horse you watched? Or July race?
Oh, I want to go with Politician, maybe. I remember Politician in the Met, definitely. You know,
That's very
July.
similar era, wasn't it?
My most memorable July would have to be Barty winning it for
Occult.
Miller with Occult. That would be my most memorable July because we followed Barty and that kind of thing. But I remember Bush Telegraph, Garth Pooler having to lose weight and they brought that horse into the race. And I remember Ipitombi. I mean, we've had some proper horses win that race. But look, I mean, the Viljoens have been blessed. They've got a good horse. This Captain's Ransom was a really, really nice filly.
As they come to the 200, Big Burn, William Robertson, Captain's Ransom's going to have to pick up. Big Burn, and on the outside, William Robertson, and yes, Captain's Ransom.
And I was reading today, they've got now the highest rated 3-year-old filly in the country.
Which filly is this?
One fell,
One fell swoop.
oh no, sickle, golden sickle. What's it called?
Oh, okay, yeah, for the Peters, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's rated 122. Eh, Basie? Do you follow the ratings and all that, or?
I think she was 111 when she won over the weekend. I don't know when the new ratings come out, but
I was reading it this morning somewhere that she's gone to 122, which is, I think it's pretty high. But you know, now that you're a breeder, I suppose you have to wear two hats now. You know, because guys, racing's the only sport that at the sale they'll tell you how good a sale is because the numbers are up, right? every time you go to any other sale, whether it's Millie Meal or cars, everybody tries to get a cheaper price, but in racing it's higher. And I suppose when horses are getting a good rating from a breeder's perspective, you probably wanted to have a good rating. What do you think?
Yes, Joe. I think that she's no more a handicapper. So yes, a 115 or 122. That's anything between 115 and 130. That's no more handicaps.
Yeah,
It's now just different class now. But
yeah.
yeah, I would prefer her to be in this position because she's well bred, very well bred.
She
We
is
actually
Victoria's. Yeah.
we had an
Sorry?
offer from this guys that's exporting the horses, but we couldn't make a deal. I
Okay.
think she might be good enough to win a graded race somewhere down the line. But yes,
Well, she's with the right trainer, right? I mean, Tony, I wrote something in the Sporting Post today. No matter what they throw at Tony, the numbers just keep going, eh? I mean,
yeah, I read this morning what you wrote in the Sporting Post. It's Tony is not only a good friend of mine, but I rate him as a top class trainer,
yeah,
possibly top 5 in South Africa.
imagine, Piere, imagine you were 20 years ago and you go for the championship against Dougie White. No, maybe 28 years ago. You go for the championship against Dougie White, okay? And you're not allowed to get a lift to the races. You've got to walk. And when you get to the races, you've got to sit in a different room to everybody else. I mean, I'm making the stuff up, but I mean, Tony's literally training with one hand tied behind his back, you know? And the numbers are still there. I think he had 3 winners on the weekend, if I'm not mistaken, 2 for you guys. Yeah, he's doing it, eh? He's doing it. And where are all the horses now, Basie? You've still got a couple with Snaith, you know, you've got shares in a couple with Snaith, and you got some with Tony, and you got some with where else?
A few with Brett Crawford in Cape and in Joburg.
Yeah.
Then I got one with, actually not me, it's my wife. You see, yes, I say me, it's problems, but he's got with Duncan Hells, Alex Laird, Lucinda Woodruff.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
as usual, you've got to spread them around. I remember having this conversation with you 7 or 8 years ago. Eh?
Yes, yeah.
Not even Sheikh Mohammed only has horses with one trainer. You can't.
Correct. Yeah.
Love. Striker, you riding tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got 4 guys. I've just come back from a suspension, but
Other one.
at the back end of my suspension, I attended 2 weddings.
Oh,
So
okay.
the weight is not looking so good at the moment. So I've actually just finished gymming, and I'm probably going to go eat some balls now, just to try and keep my mind off food and get the weight down. Yeah, but obviously it's tomorrow's. It's I've got a couple of horses that are at least got place chances. But it's about getting my weight down and peaking for Saturday.
And Basie, do you want to ask Piere anything? This is like
where we met you.
Sorry?
I was asking Piere, can he still remember where we met him the first time?
Jeez, I can't remember, but I know we went for some nice lunch before.
we were all having, you were having dinner and we were having dinner, and we sat next to you, and I told my wife, you see, this is Strydom.
Yes, now I remember.
Get the waterfront in that restaurant there, and I got up, and Victoria and Alfred Hotel, and I got up and I introduced myself to you, and yeah, that's where I first met you.
Yeah. I remember. I remember Louis Huisson told me years ago. He said to me, he's just met a very nice couple, and they are going to be huge in horse racing. And I don't know who they were talking about. And then it wasn't long after that you came you and your wife came onto the scene, and I mean, you took the racing game by storm. I mean, you've become champion owners already in such a short time. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of luck and a lot of blessings, and yeah, wouldn't have it any other way. It's been fun.
Yeah, and putting money in, right? I mean, you can talk about luck and blessings, but you still got to invest, and you still got to deal with the day-to-day bullshit, right? Oh, there it goes. There's the first one. No, but it's hard, eh, Basie? It is hard, eh? It's hard. And I've been part of some of the journey, and you know, I think the biggest, we talked about this last week and the week before. I think the biggest problem in racing is the disconnect between, or the apparent disconnect between the people in the stand and the people in the boxes. Right? But actually, we have so much in common. You probably got 40 horses in training, eh, Basie? 50?
50 must be somewhere
How
there.
many certainties do you get a week? 0.
Yes.
Hey, Piere? I mean, like there's this myth that because you're an owner and because you speak to the trainer directly, you know everything that's going on. But we're still dealing with animals, right? We're still dealing with Piere, just go like it.
If we knew everything,
Piere,
we
just go like this. Just go like this quickly. We're still dealing with shit rides from professional jockeys.
most of the time it's not about shit rides. It's about different horses, different things that you're trying to work out. Does the horse stay? Now it's got a bad draw. Is the horse sound? You know, where do you place horse in the right handicap? It's so difficult to get the horse to be placed in the right race, and that's why there are some trainers that got the advantage on with their knowledge of knowing I'm running a horse in this race, I'm prepping it for another race, but I know where I'm going with this horse in the future.
Sean's very good, right? Sean Terry.
Yeah, he's very sharp. I think any trainer, if they want to really be up there, they first thing they should do is learn what the handicapper knows. Because if you know how to handicap a horse or run a horse according to where you should place a horse, you know where the horse is going, which direction it's going. And I think it's like Basie was saying earlier, he's fully golden sickle. You don't worry about handicapping anymore. She's so high now in the merit rating that handicapping, you're probably not going to run her in a merit rating. You're going to run her in a plate race or a race where it's level weight, and she's going to be best off because she's got the highest merit rating in the field. And if it know and learns that, there's already a good, what can I say, asset to their arsenal.
Yeah, 100%. I was coming at it because, as you know, we put out this podcast and then we tip a horse and it gets beat, and people go, yeah, but you guys are in the know. But there is no in the know, eh? There literally is no in the know. And I mean, I've got 20-something horses in training, Basie. You guys got much more than that. And, you know, there is no punting solution.
There's no advantage being open for punting. That I guarantee you. We don't get information. I'd rather not get any information because it push you in a direction, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's open. It's still a sport. Anybody can win.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's the most attractive thing about it. You know, and it's easier to blame a guy that weighs 54 kilos than to blame a footballer that weighs 80 or a rugby player that weighs 100. So we'll keep on blaming the Oaks in the saddle because, you know, it's easy.
Well, Basie, if you wanted to go for a wimpy burger and your wife said no, we're going to KFC, are you in control? No, you're not. Someone's telling you what not to do. We got horses that want to go to KFC, not to Wimpy's.
Okay, but listen, Striker, we're going to talk about my biggest pet hate in racing, and then you can answer it. And if Basie's got one, he'll ask you and you can answer. So my biggest pet hate on a jockey, what I consider a bad ride, is jump out, no pace, horse fighting for its head and still trying to tuck it in, as opposed to going round and let it go, even if it falls in a hole afterwards. I don't care. So that's my biggest pet hate. So you don't do that too often, because you're a pretty good judge of pace. But do you think that everybody has that skill? Because I see it every day, guys tugging. When
Well, two issues, Joe. You're already in trouble by then. Firstly, probably because the trainer said to you, I need this horse to be tucked in. I want it to be relaxed, and you are listening to your trainer. There are trainers that give you a bit of leeway that you can do what you want to do, within reason. And it's so easy to ride for those trainers because you know you might not find yourself in that position or in that spot. The other thing is, if you're already at the back and you're fighting, you trying to settle a horse, maybe takes you 100 meters or so. By that time, if you're already committed to trying to give the horse a chance, now you decide, okay, let me go around the field. So when you loop the field by that time, you've now used up so much energy to go around him and wide and get a position that you've basically blown your chances as well. So either way, when you're that part of the race early on and you're fighting, 90% of the time you're gone.
Right. Well, I'll answer the first thing. I did go to university just for 2 days, but my lecturer told me something I've never forgotten. And this is about instructions. There's 2 types of people who don't succeed in this world. Those who don't do what they're told, and those who only do what they're told.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Sometimes you've got to touch my chance, I think. But anyway, that's my big pet hate.
One last thing, Piere always, it's something he's always helped other jockeys, and maybe he can correct me, but I've heard other jockeys say that 2 rights don't always make 2 wrongs don't always make a right. So once you're there, you might as well just okay. I might take a chance. If I see the gaps there, I'll take a chance. But the young jockey will feel I'm tied down to my trainer's instructions, and I'm going to do it. So it's difficult. But I know
the wrong example, because Garth, what was Garth's nickname? Do you remember?
Head waiter or something.
The head waiter. So Garth Piere was known as the head waiter because he rode for Kannemeyer Senior, and Kannemeyer Junior does the same thing. They like the horses to come from off the pace. So if you watch most of Dean's horses, they'll come from off the pace.
And you can't come wide. You can't come wide.
You can't come wide. You can't come wide. Basie, do you have something to ask South Africa's legendary jockey? Piere, by the way, I'm thinking of getting Madeira's legendary jockey on next week.
Oh, no. We can't speak his language.
Basie, do you have something to ask him? What irritates you about these small oaks?
It's just girls.
Sorry?
Somehow, they always got the nicest girls. I don't know why. What's up with that?
That's a good one. Well, it's taken him 3 goes to find the nice one, but
getting yourself into trouble here, Joe.
we don't care about trouble.
Well, my pet hate, you were asking now. It's not a pet hate, but the jockey blowing a good draw for a trainer, for an owner is
yeah.
It breaks. It's just irritating. It's you get a good draw and the jock jumps or the horse jumps slow and then the race is basically over. Especially on the poly, Piere and Durban. If you have a draw here, and sometimes it happened that I know it's not the jock, it's the horse, but that's for me that's my pet hate. Good draw on the poly tracks, no jump, no race.
Fair enough. Piere, does the draw make a difference?
Wait, it depends on where. There are some races and courses where the draw is vital, like Gravel draw first 5. I think it's a huge example. A huge advantage.
is it vital or is it psychological? I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. When I only had shares in one or two horses, right, I never really noticed a pattern. And I'm hoping Basie will now reflect on this because he'll get WhatsApp messages on all of Suzette's runners, right? So I can't remember the last time one of my horses went into a race 1,000,000% that it ticked all the boxes. Okay? So I can't remember the last time. I got a message that the bloods were right, the work was right, the ground was right, the draw was right, the jockey was right. I can't remember. So I'm assuming that everybody gets similar messages. There's always a challenge, missed a piece of work or whatever, right? Why do we assume that because my horse is drawn in 8, that the horse drawn in 7 has had an easy path into the race? Why is that not missed a piece of work? Why? Do you understand what I'm asking you? Is it psychological? Is it because my experience is nothing is ever smooth leading up to a race. So who's to say that the horse in draw 1 isn't having a...
Yeah, well, if you draw on 1 and you don't jump, then your draw's gone. So then you might as well be drawn 8. But
well, then the horse drawn 2's got a better draw automatically.
Well, yeah, because if you jump out well and you're there for nothing, you're not using your horse to be in a good position. Where if you're drawn 10, you actually have to jump fast, and if you're allowed to be up there, or your horse races from handy. Now you have to actually burn your horse a little bit to try and overcome the draw. If say drawn 7, 6, 5, 4 are not quick and you get there comfortably, then it changes everything because you're getting there. It's about getting there within yourself, and that's what like Basie was saying as well. If you're drawn well and you give away that good draw, what is the point of having a good draw? You've got to use that draw to the best that suits you best to make the other horses work to get a position, if you know what I'm saying. But then also too fast, you can drop it in the back, so.
Do you think you guys do enough of that? So I'm going to have another go at the jockey colony of South Africa, right? I read an article where Justin Snaith said the only jockey to walk the track before the Met was Daniel Muscat.
Yeah, he's never. He doesn't really know the conditions, so we know.
Brian Moore knows the conditions of every racetrack in the world, and he still walks it. So does Abel O'Brien.
It's difficult when you walk when you ride every single day and you arrive. You're supposed to be an hour before the race, and you arrive there 40 minutes before the race. It's impossible to do all that.
I remember watching it. You used to do it.
I've done it in the beginning because obviously I was young and I'm trying to learn, But then you get to learn like the conditions when you came to the start, and you can look at if it looks soft, the grass, if it's long. You also get a sheet in the jockey room that tells you the amount of rain that has fallen, and it tells you the penetrometer reading every 200-meter mark, inside, outside, and middle. So it gives you all that information. Look, I'm nothing wrong with walking the track.
But I can only talk about 2 jockeys that I'm comfortable to talk about, Piere Strydom and Jason Gates, right? I'm telling you, if Jason Gates saw Piere Strydom walking the track, he'd do it. He's probably never walked the track in his life.
Yeah. Look, it's a tough one because we weigh 50 kilos and we've got boots that are just trotting on the track. To me, the difference is when it's raining.
Right.
When it's middle of winter in Joburg and it's rock hard, we're in a tar road on the highway or tar road on another road. It's the same.
Yes.
Tar road is a tar road, but it's when it rains that's where the difference comes in. Now, if you look at Turfentine, we know when it rains on the outside is higher than the inside. The water drains towards the inside. We know where the going, is automatically.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I've had enough goes at the jockeys today. No more. I love you all. Basie, I think we've had a fantastic chat. What's the next step for Hopes and Dreams? You move. Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you not
Hello?
hear me?
No, now we can. Now we can.
No, the next step is possibly just try and get this farm going. In future, we talked about it. Some pre-training. That's in the not so distant future.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it. To try and get more success, higher pregnancy percentages, and less foals that die, and
Oh,
yeah, that's we have to still learn a lot about this, but we get a lot of advice from all the role players in the industry. So we
that's good.
actually
That's
yeah.
good. And do you see the farm becoming like a place to go to, or will it just remain a breeding operation, or do you see it expanding into somewhere for people to go on the weekend, and or do you think that that's just too much aggravation for the actual main purpose of the farm?
Yeah, I wouldn't go in that direction. I would just breeding, pre-training maybe later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are quite far out of town, so that's not conducive to tourism or anything like that. So no, it's me, my wife, and the horses.
Yeah, and I've been a guest there, and I know Tony and his family have been a guest there. And I'm sure you wouldn't mind if Piere visited you one day, but it's a beautiful place, and we wish you nothing but the best from there. I wish I was buying horses. I would always support my friends first. And I hope Hopes and Dreams does do exactly what it says on the tin, which is give you the hopes and dreams you guys deserve. Thanks for today's chat. I hope the viewers enjoy this slightly different thing about breeding, and maybe just getting to understand you and know you a bit better, even though we didn't do a lot. Before we sign off, Strike, have you had a look at Saturday's card, eh?
I've had a look, yes.
Do you want to steer the people in the wrong direction? Then I'll tip a winner like I did last week.
I think, Basie, don't you own Pistol Pete?
Oh, that's
Yes.
something special. Eh?
Sure. There's no money, nothing.
There's what?
There's no money. 3 to 10.
Yeah.
Came
But,
coming to final try, but Pistol Pete has pulled clear of that final 200 meters to win it comfortably. Pistol.
It doesn't matter. He'll win.
hard to back against it. Tony Peters, other horse, the filly, Almond C.
Albin C. That'll win.
Even
And then,
shorter.
And then
Yeah.
give me another filly of Mark de Cox filly.
She's
It's
nice.
the classic, the filly.
Yeah.
But all very short. But I mean, they all look to win. So it's hard to back against them.
Yeah, but I mean, you might as well, to lift the odds up, you riding a winner on Saturday for me. So surely you want
I'm
to
thinking. Yeah, she's got to improve on a form of late. Obviously,
Mr. Negative.
1400's more a better distance, but you know it's an open race, so we're
Got
not
the
without.
master tactician on board. And
I might have
tomorrow,
instructions to the trainer might tell me what to do. So
well, Mike knows what to do. And tomorrow, I think you'll do well for us as well. I'm looking forward to Champion Warrior running tomorrow.
yeah, he's third favorite. I've looked at the form. Last time was a very good run. I think the horse that beat him came to win the next time, but quite a competitive race. Hard to single out one horse to beat. There are a lot of horses with good form.
What about Sandringham Summit? What do you think?
I think he's definitely the right horse, but that was William Longarm. The word is that he's a very, very good horse.
Yeah,
I think did he run second or third last time behind Sandringham Summit? Third. It was his first run after 8 months. The fact that I rate him very highly, I think respect him. So.
And main defender, do you think he'll get the mile?
He seems very speedy. I think I would rather lean towards him like more of a 14, 12 in minerals. I think that's a very open race as well. Tough race.
Yeah. Basie, what else have you got on Saturday? Just Pistol Pete.
Yes, that's the only one.
Well, one winner, one day. That keeps the doctor off. Okay, guys,
know.
thank you for that. Fingers crossed. Okay, Piere,
What?
thanks for that. I will talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Joao. Thanks, Piere. Lovely chat.
Thank
And
you.
you, Basie. Thanks for the time. Cheers.